Hi guys, so I guess some news for you. Just so you guys know, I'm not gonna do all NFL cuts because that's a ton of players. I was interested in the more major ones that some of our guys might recognize the names. I'm not doing like the minor guys. So there's a lot of players that are being cut that most people probably have never heard of before. So first, we'll start with Vikings tight end T.J. Hawkinson. Will begin the season on the pup list. So if people don't know, if you begin the season pup list, that means you're out for at least 4 games, so you can't be back till at least week 5. So yeah. And then Giants are releasing wide receiver Isaiah Hodgins. He didn't do much this last year, but the previous year he was a big part. Like he was a big part of the reason they won that playoff game against the Vikings that year. So, yeah, but he's gone now. But he had a few good games. Some of those guys some guys just have like a few good games like later in the season, then they disappear. It seems like he may be one of those. So yeah. And then Panthers rookie running back Jonathan Brooks will begin season pup list as well. So he'll be once again he'll be out 4 weeks. This a few weeks ago was it did sound like he's gonna be out like so at least week 2 or 3, but now it's for sure at least till week 5. So yeah. And then Giant Chiefs are releasing cornerback Kelvin Joseph. He was a recent few years ago. He was recently relatively high draft pick. He's done nothing. So yeah, and they have a good. They almost need and they still got some good depth in that cornerback room. So yeah, and the Dolphins are releasing running back Salman Ahmed, which is he was a depth running back. Like they got some good running backs. Like they have Mostert, they have A Chain, they drafted Jalen Wright. So it's gonna be tough to make this roster. So it's not a huge surprise. And then 49ers are releasing punter Presley Harvin. No surprise. Like they still Mr. Mishanowski. It's no surprise he wasn't on week the roster. Like he would have had to have a crazy camp, and Mishanowski could have a terrible camp for him to make this roster. And then Texans wide receiver John Mechie is receiving trade interest from multiple teams. He wasn't cut or anything today. He hasn't been traded yet, so we'll see. They could still be traded, obviously. Just then they could sign one of the guys they released. They could potentially sign back to active roster. Seems to do that. So like, we'll cut you. We'll trade or release somebody else, replace them in IR, and then we'll bring you back after that. And then the Giants have a little bit of QB struggles this preseason. They had no Giants quarterback has threw a single touchdown pass in preseason. So yeah, that's not very good. That's just bad. Like yeah. And then Burns, running back Jerome Ford, will begin season under as a running back one. Not a huge surprise with Chubb with Chubb being on the pup list start the year. So now he's out 4 weeks, so that's not a huge surprise. But yeah. And then Patriots are leaving wide receiver Kendrick Bourne on the pup list to begin the season as well. So he's another guy that'll be out at least 4 games. So yeah, like that's a big loss to wide receiver because they draft a lot of young wide. They have a lot of young wideouts, but Bourne like is their best proven wide receiver. He's not a great number one, like he's fucking number two, but still he's still fine wide out. And they certainly don't have much to wide out. He's their best one. And the Rams running back Kyron Williams will be their punt returner to start off the season. So they'll see that some teams might be starting to do this more with new kickoff rules. So you might see this more often. Teams are starting to use some of their star players as returners just to get like that speed, that or just talent out there and see what they do returner. So we'll see what he does. And then Dolphins wideout Odell Beckham Jr. We can see on the pup list. He spent the last year with the Ravens. Most people obviously know him as former Giant, does where his best years were. He's all right right out at this point. He's not nearly as good as he used to be though. And then the other day it was people were saying that the Rams had given they allowed him to seek trade, and now they are trading linebacker Ernest Jones in 2026 sixth rounder to the Titans, change for 2026 fifth rounder. So it's just a late round pick trade up pretty much. The Rams are just trading the guy that might not make this team or was just some depth guy to just trade him and get some extra little trade up a few picks. And then Rams tight end Tyler Higbee begin the season tight the pup list as well, so he's already got to be out for at least 4 games. That kind of sucked for them just because they do not have much depth at tight end. Let's see here, who do they have tight end behind him? I'm sorry, I just can't remember. So yeah, with him out, they have Colby Parkinson and Davis Allen as your top two tight ends. Sort of right tight ends, but you don't want them being your main two tight ends. They have a ton of good weapons, so they probably will be fine anyways because they have all those weapons. The Lions are signing my receiver Tim Patrick to their practice squad. The Broncos were trying to trade him yesterday, but they were obviously weren't able to find a trade partner for him. They released him. So yeah, they're signing him to this practice squad with the potential of him making it to the active roster after a while. But starting to in the practice squad. And the Cardinals are cutting quarterback Desmond Ritter. Like they traded from this offseason from the Falcons. They trade Rondell Miller. Like I was pretty sure it was gonna be Falcons winning that trade just because like you traded probably a starting wide receiver for your team for a backup quarterback, and now he's not even that because he didn't even make your team as a backup. So yeah. So now their only backup quarterback is Clayton Tune, second year guy, late round pick last year. So we'll see. They probably may be just looking at who are some of these quarterbacks that other teams are releasing. Do we like them? Do we want to bring them in? And they can always sign Ritter to their practice squad because yeah, we'll see there. And the Falcons are cutting cornerback Kevin King and are also replacing Zach King. I mean, he did play it all last year. He had some fine years with Packers, but he's also been very inconsistent. So yeah, and Helms, he's gonna be out for at least 4 weeks. He's probably was decent linebacker slash safety. So yeah, and then Bills are cutting running back Frank Gore Jr. He's the son of football running back legend Frank Gore. He had future. He will be future Hall of Famer. He isn't eligible for the Hall of Fame yet. So yeah, but yeah, he'd probably be practice squad somewhere. But it's UDFA. He had a good preseason, so I'm sure he'll sign somewhere to go. If it's not the Bills, just a matter of where. And then we got some Panthers cutting some depth guys. They're cutting running back Mike Boone. He wasn't a huge surprise, but he had a chance just with Brooks being on the starting season on the pup list, just because they might have wanted that extra running back depth. He has played at times, fine. And they also are cutting wide receiver Terrence Marshall, a former second round pick by them about LSU. It's been terrible. So yeah. And then they're also putting edge rusher DJ Wanham in the pup list and James Jackson and IR, two new players to their team. Wadham had a season injury last year, so he's just not fully recovered. Jackson's a good slot corner from the Bills, so yeah. And the Bears are placing tackle Larry Borman into reserve, so he's another guy out at least 4 weeks. So yeah, he had to start for them the review and he was fine. They haven't started him since. So let's see. He's still a good. He's still be a good back. He's for them, and now he's out for at least 4 weeks. And then we got another guy. Now we got another guy going on our part. He's done for the year. There, 49ers replacing running back Elijah Mitchell into reserve. Sucks for him because obviously he's done for the year, but that hurts him a lot because this upcoming offseason he was a free agent. So if he had a good year, decent year as the Niners backup against CMC, McCaffrey got injured, could have shown off and got a good contract this offseason. Now he's going to be out. It's going to hurt it. Obviously, it's going to hurt his chances of getting a good, decent contract for running back. And then Browns are cutting running back Deontay Foreman. He's been a fine starter. Like he spent last year with the Bears. He's been with the Browns. Can find him wherever he goes. So yeah, especially another guy with Chubb being out 4 weeks on the pup list. Kind of surprised he didn't make the team, but he wasn't being that good. And then Packers are cutting two quarterbacks. They're cutting Sean Clifford and Michael Pratt. Clifford was a second year guy. Matt was a 7th-round rookie. So maybe one of those guys go to practice squad. It's not a huge surprise. Both of them don't. I mean, not at least one of them don't. I mean, but it's kind of surprised both of them don't because they just traded from Malik Willis. But you kind of think maybe they would have kept one. Probably one of them's going to stay on the practice squad. They also are placing running back A.J. Dillon in IR. He is done for the year. It's another guy they brought him back on a 1-year deal. So yeah, but he was once again he's going to be their backup behind Jacobs anyways. And then Texans are cutting wide receiver Noah Brown. They also are placing quarterback Case Keenum on IR, so he's out for at least 4 weeks. Noah Brown is a decent depth wideout, so yeah, it's a little bit of surprise there, but they have a lot of good wideouts. But let's see, maybe they true trade John Mechie and they bring back Brown. They just need him off the roster because they couldn't trade Mechie before the roster cut deadline. Could be one of those things that does happen. And then Jaguars are cutting quarterback C.J. Beathard and defensive back Terrell Emmons. Terrell Emmons has been a starter from a few teams. He was a former first-round pick. He's not worth the first-round pick, but he's been fine safety. So a little bit surprised there. C.J. Beathard, he's just a fine backup. That's really it. We kind of got a few surprising cuts for the Chiefs. Not really huge surprises, but a little bit. So they're cutting wide receivers Justin Ross and Darius Toney. Been going around for a while. They probably weren't. Darius Toney probably wasn't going to make this roster. Still, he was a former first-round pick, but he had terrible with drops this last season. Ross, he had a good freshman year at Clemson, which that's where he came out of college, but then he dealt with injuries. So yeah, and then they also cut in tight end Irv Smith, defensive tackle Lucas Niang. Ning had some potential, but he's not done anything. Irv Smith, he was a former second-round pick. He's had some decent years, but now, he's gone free agent again. Then the Cowboys are training tight end Peyton Hendershot. The Chiefs for 2026 7th rounder. So yeah, the Chiefs got good. They got a great tight end room. They got obviously Travis Kelce. They still have Noah Gray. So yeah, and they added Peyton Hendershot, so they didn't really have room for Smith at that point. The Chargers are cutting back a quarterback Luis Perez. He was just a fine backup. He had a good year in the spring league these last 2 seasons. Then we got a former first-round pick getting cut. Vikings are cutting former 2022 first-round pick, 32nd overall, safety Lewis Cine. This sucks for Vikings because they had a chance to draft Kyle Hamilton, who was falling to them at the same position. But instead of that, they trade down with a division rival, and now this guy is not even on the team anymore versus Kyle Hamilton's one of the best safeties in the league. And then Patriots are cutting quarterback Bailey Zappi. It's not a huge surprise. He's not done anything for them. He has had to start because Mac Jones struggled, but so has he. But they have Jacoby Brissett, they drafted Drake May, they drafted Joe Milton, so it's not a huge surprise. And the Saints are cutting running back James Robinson. Robinson was a former UDFA. He had a really good rookie year with the Jags, so he has done nothing since. So yeah. And the Giants are releasing wide receiver Allen Robinson. He's just a dead wide receiver at this point, but he has had multiple 1,000-yard seasons, but he's not that good anymore. And the Eagles are cutting wide receiver Paris Campbell. Just a deaf guy. He's not very good either, but he has shown some flashes on the Colts in the past, so it's a little bit surprised there. The Steelers are cutting wide receiver Quez Watkins. He's not a good wideout. He was just kind of a speedy guy that can get you some deep threat weapons, but not a huge surprise there. Then 49ers are cutting depth wide receiver Robbie Chosen Anderson. Not a huge surprise there. He's way past his prime. He's not very good. Then we got another former first-round pick getting cut. Titans are cutting quarterback Caleb Farley, former 2021 first-rounder. He's out with a ton of injuries. That was a question when he came out of college from, was it Virginia Tech, I think? So, yeah, but he has done nothing for them. The Commanders are cutting new DFA rookie quarterback Sam Hartman. Hartman came out of Notre Dame. He was good in college, but it's one of those guys probably aren't going to be good in the NFL. Might be practice squad. I forgot to add it here, but they also are cutting wide receiver Martavis Bryant, former Steelers. A good wide receiver. He's been out late for a while, though. So, yeah. That's it for NFL News, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good night.